Hi, I'm Allie with PotomacBeads, and I wanted to share with you today our next episode in Better Beader to show you how shapes can become interchangeable. We went last week with some rounds. The week before that, we did some rectangles and some squares, and this week we're going to touch on the triangle and the actual diamond shape. So stay tuned for some information to make you a better beader. So in this episode of the Better Beader video, I wanted to show kind of the oddball shapes. We started with the rectangle slash square, and honestly I could have added, looking kind of on the walls as I continued this little series, I could have added some Montes and some pyramids going on the ends here and some squares. And from the squares slash rectangles, I went to the round and touched on the different shapes in the round. This week, what I wanted to do was touch on one of the last kind of shapes, going with a diamond slash triangle. So looking at the diamond and the triangle, there's a couple different options that when you look at them, they may present themselves as being great alternatives or great options, one for another, and some may not. I want to just start out with the question always of the gem duo versus the diamond duo. And there's also now a diamond duo mini. So the Diamond Duo Mini in this pastel aqua is 4mm, whereas the Diamond Duo is 5 by 8mm. So you can see the size difference, and the Gem Duo is going to be the same, that 5 by 8mm. The Gem Duo, in my mind, came out second after the Diamond Duo. So the Diamond Duo was kind of the original shape. And when you're looking at patterns, a lot of patterns, again, that start with that mini Diamond Duo and have the diamond duo, you can use them interchangeably and usually just downgrade your seed bead size. So if it's calling for a diamond duo and a size 8 seed bead, go for a mini and 11 and try that out. The gem duo and the diamond duo are going to be the same size. However, I prefer the cut of the diamond duo over the gem duo any day. The diamond duo has a nice point at the top. The gem duo is kind of, I say, it's lazier version, that it doesn't quite have that nice faceted look to it. So that's the gem duo versus the diamond duo. Again, they're the same size. If your pattern calls for it, you can interchange them wonderfully. You can use them for the same project. I just prefer the look of the diamond duo. That's my personal preference. Looking on from there then, if your pattern calls for a mini diamond duo or a diamond duo, you may also want to try out a mini silky or a silky bead. The silky and the silky bead also go on that diamond shape. And rather than kind of sitting on the square like a tile or a tila would be, this actually goes on the diamond. We have some table cut ones, we have some cross cut ones. They have a little bump on the top, and the hole runs opposite of that little bump or that little protrusion from the top. The mini silky is going to be 5mm, so it's about the same width of the diamond duo, but then the diamond duo and the gem duo stretch out to 8mm, where this stays at 5mm. So it's the 4x6 is the mini diamond duo. The mini silky is the 5mm on both sizes. So try out patterns too. You can switch that diamond duo pattern for the mini silky. If your pattern calls for a 6mm bead. Again, changing up to, I can say some of these, it's going to change the look, but if you're looking for a 6mm bead and you need a 2-hole bead, you can also try a silky bead in place of a round bead and try that diamond in place of rounds, looking for, and even honestly in place of some of the rectangles as well. It's kind of why I kept this going from one to the other. Sometimes we're not just talking about that single shape or that shape size. You can also pick actually a whole nother shape to take the place. So if you're looking at a super duo, say, you may be able to switch from the super duo to the actual mini diamond duo. So check that out as well. But kind of going back to our triangles and diamonds, I have the mini silky and then the silky bead, which is a 6mm. It's a long isosceles triangle, and I touched on it on one of my other videos. This is going to be the actual Vexolo bead. So the Vexolo bead is also a triangle, that long pointed, and it has a point to it just like the diamond duo would have. So the Vexolo is kind of a more of a teardrop shape or a pointed shape rather than actually a triangle, but all of these are going to have two holes that run along the bottom as well. Likewise, kind of that diamond shape going off is going to be the kite bead. The kite bead, like the Vexolo, is going to be smaller at one end and kind of bigger at the other end. The Vexolo bead is going to be a 5 by 8 millimeter, whereas the kite bead is a 5 by 9. So it's just a little bit longer in its kind of variation. But check out again some of these and see if they are interchangeable in your patterns. Like I said, if I had all the time in the world, I would love to sit down with every pattern, taking every bead that says 6 millimeter, say the 6 millimeter silky, the 6 millimeter round trio, the 6 millimeter tile, try it all out with different shapes even and see what you get. If I had all the time, I would certainly do that for you, but that is up to you to take a lot of the different patterns and kind of try out the different sizes with them. Generally speaking, then we kind of go into the diamond shape or the triangle shape. And I have here the key-up versus the tango. So a lot of people think these key-ups and tangos are interchangeable. I could have also put a half silky here because that's getting into that triangle shape. But the triangle shape I wanted to touch on was the key-up versus the tango. Their hole and the way that they sit is completely opposite of one another. So for the actual key-up, you have a nice triangle that's going to be equal on all sides. Whereas the tango, you have an isosceles, two in the same and then one longer. For the tango bead, the holes go through, so one sits on the long side and one sits on the short side. When you're looking at the key-up, they go through so that they're coming out on equal sides of one of the points. So if you have a pattern that calls for a tango or a key-up, unfortunately, they are not going to be interchangeable. So don't think they're interchangeable. Even though they're about the same size, they are not interchangeable. Stick to one of whatever they are calling. There's not going to be much actually that is interchangeable for the key-up because of the way that it sits on the point and the way that the holes go through. Your best bet if you want to try something else out other than the key-up is actually going to be to go for a silky bead because you're still going to have that point on the end. I also threw on the end here an Emma bead just to show that triangle, but to make sure that you realize that the Emma bead doesn't sit like any of the others. You're going to get a triangle shape on kind of the outside, but it sits that the three holes sit facing, so it almost looks like a piece of cheese there. So this is kind of the follow-up to my rectangle square, which is going to be the most in-depth. Then we had the rounds video last week, and then I wanted to do that diamond / triangle video for you. Again, words of wisdom, you don't need to buy every shape. You can try out different ones, look at the exact sizes of the different beads, and that's going to give you an example as far as what can be interchangeable from one bead to another, what you can try out as far as switching up even shapes and designs, that when you look at a 6 millimeter bead, the pattern may not be specific to an actual shape of a bead. So you could use theoretically a 6 millimeter silky, a 6 millimeter round trio, a 6 millimeter tile, or even a 6 millimeter dome bead too, or a cab. So try those things out, try the variants, have fun with it. If you have a pattern that you really like and you don't have the specific bead that it calls for, that's your challenge. That's your opportunity to take some of these other shapes that you may have and switch them out and see what you get. Like I said, it's a trial and error. You learn more as you do, and trying to fit and use an extra 15 on the sides or switch from an 8 to 11 may make you even that much of a better beater because you are learning how to anticipate mistakes, make mistakes, and then correct them yourself as well. Again, if you need any of these materials, you can go below the video where it has the description and the date that the video was produced. Click on there and you can buy from us at PotomacBeads.com or PotomacBeads.eu. You can also check out all the patterns that we have there for sale and check out which patterns you may want to make interchangeable. Again, on this YouTube channel, you can search on the Potomac Beads YouTube channel. Up in the little corner, there's a magnifying glass. Click on that and you can search for any type of bead and check out the videos that I've worked with and produced those as well. Again, the idea of these Better Beader videos is to make you a better beater, keep you informed, and help you gain the knowledge that you need in order to make you better at your craft. Feel free to connect with us on Facebook and our website, as well as join our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. Thanks so much for watching and have fun becoming a better beater.